Hey YouTubers, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. Enjoy the video. Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super discussion, theory, speculation video. So I have to kind of preface all of this by saying I have been getting the same comment from a lot of you guys like once an hour, maybe even more, when it comes to Jiren winning the Tournament of Power. So one of the things that we do know is that Jiren has been shown to be a monster when it comes to fighting everybody in Universe 7. And it really goes to show like, wait, can they even actually beat this guy? Because as much as we want to talk about Frieza still having potential that he's not showing, maybe even Vegeta, Gohan getting some kind of power up, even as I've mentioned before, Piccolo fusing with the Namekians from Universe 6 in order to give him a power up to at least fight someone like Toppo or Dispo, you still have almost everyone at a loss or disadvantage when it comes to Jiren. We've just seen Jiren destroy two of the strongest people that we knew coming into this particular tournament. And while Hit is out and Goku is actually still in, we have to kind of consider the fact that maybe they won't be able to win against him. And is that really even a bad thing? One of the knee-jerk reactions here is, of course, it's the bad thing. Jiren is the big bad of this entire tournament. He's the person that our heroes have to beat in order to put everything back at zero. You know, as we've been talking about even before this tournament actually even started, they're really setting the stakes really high for this tournament. They have almost every universe going to be erased if Zeno gets his way and the Grand Priest gets his way, and honestly we've already seen two universes get completely erased. Now I will argue that Universe 9 wasn't really much of a letdown, and Universe 10 at the same time had its story arc with the whole Goku Black thing and its importance in the last arc. So losing those particular universes isn't necessarily a big deal if you ask me, but when you think about it, losing any more might be detrimental to the future of the franchise, considering the fact that it kind of narrows down exactly how much you can explore or where threats can even come from. So it really kind of boggles my mind to think that, yeah, what if this tournament ends the way that they say it will, the way they have been saying it will, that Zeno destroys these universes and only leaves the 5 remaining universes. So of course that goes to show that Universe 7 really has to win this particular tournament in order to keep existing. One of the things that the fan base, myself included, have said throughout this entire time is Dragon Ball Super being placed in the 10-year time skip between the defeat of Majin Buu and the end of Dragon Ball Z really kind of hampers down on what we can expect, because we know that there's not going to be any mystery. At the end of the day, we know that Gohan, Piccolo, Vegeta, Goku, Goten, Trunks, and almost everyone else is not necessarily going to die at the end. The only wild cards, as I've said before, is Ten Shinhan and Android 17, considering the fact that we don't necessarily see them at the end of the tournament arc at the end of Dragon Ball Z. So who really knows right now? And honestly, we do know that they're going to be alive, so why won't Universe 7 win? But I feel like now, and I feel like what you guys are trying to get through in the comments is Jiren should win. Yes, he's strong, and we don't necessarily need any character going through that much of a power jump, because while you can argue the fact that maybe Vermouth or Belmont is actually weaker than someone like Beerus, and Goku getting Ultra Instinct won't necessarily make him stronger than Beerus, you still kind of put him even closer to that threshold where it starts to get a little bit obnoxious thinking that Goku could go to almost any single universe and find no people to match him. And I honestly think that the show doesn't want to get there anymore or that quickly, and that's why they've introduced someone like Jiren. And also, considering the fact that they have been building him up as the big bad of this entire season, it goes to show that it's kind of making us forget that Jiren is a part of the Pride Troopers, and he is actually a good guy. We had Toppo at the beginning of the Dragon Ball special, before he was actually able to fight Goku, saying, you gotta fight for your wish, because you want that particular wish, Jiren, and we don't necessarily know what that is. Of course, I've speculated on this channel before about what it could be, and honestly, one of the things it really could be is he wants to bring back all the universes that are being destroyed, because they are fighting for justice, and essentially they are good guys. I mean, they've built the Pride Troopers up this entire time. Jiren's whole reaction to Goku is not because he thinks Goku is a good guy. He thinks Goku is a bad guy, and why would they trust that guy to use the wish for anything other than his own pure joy or evil purposes or something. So it could be that the Pride Troopers are actually fighting in order to actually bring back the entirety of the universes, and that might even include the 6 universes that were destroyed that were mentioned at the beginning of the Future Trunks arc. And honestly, I think that that's a really cool concept, and it would really subvert our expectations, because even though they've been playing Jiren up as a big bad this entire time, it's starting to warp at least my perception of him being really that bad of a guy, when really he's just kind of the stoic, heroic type who might potentially win this tournament and wish for all the universes to come back. And personally, I think that that would be a really cool thing. I think that would be an interesting ending to all of this, and it would also help to hamper down Goku's abilities and power going forward in the series, knowing that he might be able to lose, or he can't necessarily win against all of his opponents. And that also harks back to the very first lesson, or the most major lesson in the entire series, is you cannot expect to be the best at everything. There will always be someone better than you. But as Dragon Ball Super progresses, I'm fearful that the people who are better than Goku are literally going to be gods and angels, and I feel like that kind of hampers his character down a little bit, considering the fact that even though he's an alien, even though he's a prodigy, he's still immortal and he still has boundaries to overcome. But once you start destroying gods and angels in order to become the strongest, you run into a problem there. So having Jiren being that person standing in his way, when last time it was Hit standing in his way, or even Monaka is sitting there to kind of give him some I guess motivation in order to get as strong as Beerus or something else like that, it really is the biggest lesson that we could learn throughout this entire show and series, is never give up. There's always going to be someone out there, so you have to keep pushing yourself. But once you start beating gods and angels, I feel like you're kind of losing that. So guys, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think Jiren could win the Tournament of Power? If he does win, what do you think he'll wish for? Like I said, and I've heard a lot of other people talking about, he could potentially win and wish for the universes to come back, and that has a detrimental effect by bringing back the 6 universes that Zeno erased previously. It might be cool to have him be somewhat of a martyr, because as we've all kind of speculated, why would the Grand Priest and Zeno actually allow this? If they allow that wish, then maybe they'll just erase Jiren and he'll just be the martyr who saved the multiverse, when they still blame Goku for dooming the multiverse. And then of course they would have to wait for the Super Dragon Balls to come back if they were going to either erase them or undo the wish or something. I mean, obviously there would be a little bit of a plot hole there, considering the Zenos could potentially just destroy all the ones that they wanted to destroy and not necessarily care. But maybe that they think it was so cool seeing the dragon, they just wouldn't care, and they would go back to their daily lives and not necessarily worry about it, or maybe even start planning the next tournament. I mean, who really knows? Honestly, guys, I just want to hear y'all's thoughts and opinions about this. Do you think that Jiren should win the Tournament of Power, or do you think it should be someone from Universe 7, maybe even from Universe 6? I mean, we're not necessarily sure who's going to end up where at the end of all this. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button. I hope everyone has a good day. It's been real. Hey YouTubers, if you guys like movies, television, and box office numbers, then make sure to go check out my second channel, where I discuss all of that stuff in gruesome detail, especially since we cover a whole lot of horror movie stuff over there and a lot of horror shows and everything else like that. So guys, if you want to hear more of my discussion topics that's not necessarily Dragon Ball related, then make sure to join me over there. I hope you guys enjoy the video.